for the recording. Welcome back. We are Nagarjuna investigators. This is September 18th, 2024. We are working on chapter 14. Forget the name of it. Let's gather our minds here as we usually do. Please bring your attention to your breath until you hear from me again. Now bring to mind that being who for you is a manifestation of ultimate love, ultimate compassion, ultimate wisdom. See them there with you, gazing at you with their unconditional love for you, smiling at you with their holy great compassion. Their wisdom radiating from them, that beautiful golden glow encompassing you in its light. And then we hear them say, bring to mind someone you know who's hurting in some way. Feel how much you would like to be able to help them. Recognize how the worldly ways we try to help fall short. How wonderful it will be when we can also help them in some deep and ultimate way, a way through which they will go on to stop their distress forever. We're learning how that is possible. And so I invite you to grow that wish into a longing. And thinking of emptiness and karma, grow that longing into an intention. And with that intention, turn your mind back to that precious holy being. We know that they know what we need to know, what we need to learn yet, what we need to do yet, to become one who can help this other in this deep and ultimate way. And so we ask them, please teach us that. And they are so happy that we've asked. Of course, they agree. Our gratitude arises. We want to offer them something exquisite. And so we think of the perfect world they are teaching us how to create. We imagine we can hold it in our hands and we offer it to them, following it with our promise to practice what they teach us, using our refuge prayer. Here is the great earth, filled with fragrant incense and covered with a blanket of flowers. The great mountain, full land, wearing the jewel of the sun and the moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise of the Buddha and offer it all to you. By this deed, may every living being experience the pure world. Idam Guru Atmanandala Kamira. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community, to the merit that we do in this investigation and the rest. May we reach Buddhahood for the sake of every living being. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest communities, to the merit that we do in this investigation and the rest. May we reach Buddhahood for the sake of every living being. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community, to the merit that we do in sharing this investigation and the rest. May all beings reach their total awakening for the benefit of every single other. Yay. Okay, so let's review our opening so we get our heads in the right space, and then we'll dig into this chapter 14, see where it takes us. So Joanna, you are at the top of my screen today. Would you start here with the opening and come down to teenage boy, please?
Thank you. Here I have made a song for you on the very root of the middle way, which I call wisdom. In the language of India, this text is called Prajna Nama Mula Madhyamaka Karika. In the language of Tibet, it is known as Uma Survey Siklo Shepa Shirap. In English, we call it Wisdom, a song on the root of the middle way. I bow down to Manjushri, the glorious one, the glorious gentle voice, in his guise as a teenage boy.
Janet, can you do 1.1, please?
I bow down to the highest of teachers, to the fully enlightened one who teaches us to reach that peace where our fantasies about how things exist are.
I don't know. Let's get more clear, I hope. Kong, 1.2, please.
Oh, okay, thank you, teacher. Bound to the one who taught us, the things happen in dependence. Nothing ends and nothing begins. Nothing stops, but nothing ever lasts forever. Nothing comes and nothing goes. No two things are different, nor are any two the same.
The other Kong.
Oh, okay. Nothing grows from itself. Nothing grows from something else. Nothing grows from both, and nothing grows without a cause. There is nothing at all that grows at all.
Not at all, at all? It's slippery, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna stop this share and get the other one up here. There. Bigger. So, anybody remember chapter 13 and where it left us? Chapter 13 was, I do so exist, Arya Nagarjuna, because I do things. I must be here to do things. And Nagarjuna's response was, the Buddha taught that everything that's deceptive is mistaken or something like that. Like his answer, I do so it must exist with some nature of my own because I do things. Anything that's deceptive is mistaken, and like mistaken things don't exist. And then we dug into chapter 13. And by the end of the chapter, we're supposed to be going, oh, I must be empty of self-nature because I appear to do things. Like we got this glimpse. Because of experiences, me doing things, I can't have my own nature. Like, great. What does our Kachik say? Kachik goes, yeah, but if I'm deceptive, if I'm an illusion, if I don't exist with some nature of my own, how do I interact with other things? It's like we've talked about this before. We get a glimpse of how what we think is making me be me doing things can't be what's really happening. We get a glimpse and then blah, we land right back in. But I don't get it. That what he's trying to show us as truth is inconsistent with our personal experience, because our personal experience is so stained with the misperception that me has to be separate from an other in order to interact with an other, that even when we glimpse it accurately, we can only hold it, right, for a brief moment, and then we land back into a yeah, but. But chapter 13's conclusion, if we thought it through, I must be empty of self-nature because I appear to do things. Because of experiences, me doing things, I can't have my own nature. That means I'm deceptive. I'm illusion. And if we're thinking illusion means we think there's something there, but there's nothing there, right? We freak out. When you see water in the desert, and then you go, oh, it's a mirage. The illusion of water means it's not water there, it's something else. You know, a refraction of the light on whatever. But to say something's an illusion in this context does not mean it's not there. And it does not mean it does not mean it can't function. And it does not mean that it's not happening. It all means it's not there the way we believe it to be there. It's not functioning the way we believe it to be functioning. It's not there. I can't remember the third thing I said. So chapter 13, okay, I have no nature of my own. That means I'm an illusion. And can you feel your mind reject that? If I'm an illusion, why does my body hurt? If I'm an illusion, right, why do I have to touch the doorknob to move it? I should be able to just walk through the door. Like all wrong ideas of what it should be like if we identified as the illusion. What's the water that's not there in our me doing something? The me independent of the thing, and the thing independent of the me, and those two independent things coming together so that I can do or I can experience. So from chapter 13, we're getting this glimpse. And then our Kachik says, no, but you know, I can't just be an illusion, Nagarjuna. If I'm an illusion, if I'm deceptive, if I have no nature of my own, how can I interact with other things? If other things have no natures of their own, what's out there for me to interact with? This is our Kachik. Clinging. If interacting has no nature, then how can there be an experience between the subject me and the object that? There must be things there to interact together, a me and an other. And so Nagarjuna says, let's check. Really, our Kachik is saying, how can I be an illusion and do stuff? The water that's there in the desert can't water the plants. It can't feed the cattle. It can't help the birds. The mirage, however, can show us water in the desert. It can fool us into thinking something is there, and then we realize something else is there, and we can have this beautiful experience of like magic, you know, something that is there that shouldn't be there. The mirage is a functioning thing. The water we think is there is not a functioning thing because it's no thing, no such thing. So our Kachik is saying, yeah, but any given experience takes a me and an other interacting, Nagarjuna, and that's real, and it can't be illusory. I can't be illusory and do stuff. We're back to that same, right, where we started in chapter 13. Poor Nagarjuna, he's probably going against the wall. Yeah, come on. So he takes this other direction. It's not a new argument. It's just taking us deeper. I don't know how to really describe what I perceive Nagarjuna is trying to point out to us. In holding to our sense of self at any given moment, we like determine and reinforce what's me by way of what's other, don't we? I mean, like we kind of have to. That we have some sense of where me ends, and so that other can begin. And that we have some sense of where other is defined, not defined in words, but meaning defined in shape or color or tactile. And that in defining the other, we therefore confirm that I'm not that, I'm other than that. So really a part of our identity that we hold to is based on this distinction between a me and an other, a self and an other. So now our concept of other becomes pretty important. And that's where this chapter is going to go. It's this deep, in every seed, experience and belief that there has to be an other for there to be a me, and there has to be a me for there to be an other. And because those are all existing things, we can and do interact with other things and have all these experiences, good ones and bad ones. And the experience come from the other. And we can then blame the other for the unpleasant experiences and want more of the other for the pleasant experiences. So there's very deep need for there to be selves and for there to be others is contributing to the perpetuation of the mistake that perpetuates all the suffering. This misunderstanding of self and other. Is Nagarjuna gonna try to show us that there's no other at all? No, because that would be incorrect as well. So let's see if we can follow his train of thought. He doesn't say, let's consider other. He says, let's go back to this triad. Now he calls it the triad. So Roxana, would you read 14.1 for us, please?
Yes, thank you, Julema. Take, for instance, the triad of the seeing, and the seer. Neither all three nor any pair of them could ever touch each other.
There we are again, touching, literally touching physically, literally touching in a moment of time. So the seer is the subject side, the me, your me, my me. The seen is the object side. The seeing, right, is the visual contact between the two. Our Kachik has just said, I can't be an illusion because I see things. have that experience. We do have that experience. Chapter 13 said, it appears we're having that experience. The experience itself is deceptive because it's happening in a different way than we believe it's happening, not that it's not happening at all. So Nagarjuna is saying, let's look at this again. We've done it before, but now we're looking at it in another way. Neither all three individually could ever touch, and neither could any pair of them touch. So doesn't a seer and an object seen have to come together in some way for seeing to be happening? Roxana says yes, no. Come on, you can't yes, no.
In some sort of way, dear Lama, they
In
need to come
some
together.
sort of way, right? So again, Arya Nagarjuna is wanting us to get in like deep contact with the mistake we're making, right? He doesn't want us to override it with knowing the punchline. So let yourself be full on ignorant you for a bit. Be the kachik and catch the mistake that we intellectually know we're doing, but we want to feel it. We want to find it coming out so that then we can really say, oh, there's the mistake. We need to find the gaksha in order to deny it. Remember that? Those classes, almost every course has a class on the gaksha, and we spend so much time looking for it. Why do we bother? It's not an existing thing, right? And then we blame the boss. Okay. So even ignorantly, mistakenly, wouldn't we say that the experience of seeing is the dependent thing here? Because seeing cannot happen without a seer and a seen. We like that, we can say, right, no seeing happening independently until those two come together. But if the seer is the me, we do believe that one's me is there before you see the water bottle, right? Is your me there now? Yes. Is seeing the water bottle happening now? No. Is seeing the water bottle happening now? Yeah. Doesn't there have to be a water bottle here for seeing the water bottle to be happening? So now, is seeing the water bottle happening now? No. Now, honestly, do you believe that there's a water bottle over there, just outside the video? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to prove it to ourselves. There it is again. Watch it. Do we believe it's still there? confirms my belief.
But only because you showed it, Lama.
I know, only because I showed it. Because it takes a seer and a seeing thing for seeing to happen,
Right.
right? So we can easily agree that the seeing, the experiencing, happening is the dependent thing in this triad. No experiencing happening independent of the subject and the object coming together in some way. Right? No, right? Our critique doesn't go, yes, it does. Experiencing happens independently. We get that one. So then Nagarjuna says, well, then we're not holding all three aspects of this triad to be independently existing things. We're only holding two of them. I can't do two fingers. Anyway, so it must be that some pair has to come together for the third thing to arise. And which pair do we figure that is? So I had to write it out for myself. I couldn't keep it in mind. And I did it with seeing because experiencing was too long a word. So I don't know if this will help your mind, but it helped mine, except I'm seeing it backwards. I wonder why. Here's the three things: me, seen thing, water bottle, seeing the water bottle happening. So if we just said the seeing the water bottle is an independent thing, so me and seeing are seeing is not the independent thing, but the other two are. We need to check out to see what combination is it that actually makes the seeing happening. So is it the me plus the seeing happening that makes the seen thing? We're going to investigate these. Is it the seen and the seeing happening that makes the me in the moment that I'm seeing? Or is it the me plus the seen thing equals the seeing? Like we kind of relate to this one. And we just did it by demonstration. My me's here first. Then the water bottle comes along. And now there's the me seeing. But technically, if we go trying to find the moment that the experience me seeing water bottle comes up, right? Watch. Wait, that's my thumb. Right? If you hadn't seen it yet, would it be water bottle? Like when does it become water bottle? But you've been seeing it, an object, all along. So the me seeing suddenly makes me seeing water bottle. So maybe it wasn't me water bottle seeing happening at all. Maybe it was me seeing this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then water bottle. What was that one? Me seeing makes the seen thing. All of a sudden, that's sounding a bit more valid. Actually, getting a little closer to what Nagarjuna is trying to get us to really recognize. The me seeing establishes the water bottle. Because a fly can see this thing and not see water bottle. So the fly seeing what they see makes the thing they see. What about this one? The seeing and the seen makes the me. Like when I say it like that, it's like, nah. But you're me now. Me seeing whatever it is you're seeing now could be the me seeing water bottle now. It's not that right now. But it is that now. So the me that we think is independent of seeing the water bottle is now dependent on seeing the water bottle to be the me seeing water bottle happening right now. What does that do to the me that's here not seeing water bottle? Because I'm seeing this. Because I'm an independent thing that's here all the time to see the things. If we say the me in the moment of this experience is dependent upon the experience, and the experiencing of the experience makes the me in the moment. The me seeing water bottle. The me seeing you. The me hearing my whatever is being said. The experience makes the me at the moment, doesn't it? Yes, Roxana.
Thank you, Lama. I have a question to see if I'm understanding. So it says that a pair needs to arise in order for a third one, right? So what you're doing is you're playing with permutations right here.
Right.
Okay, so they're all possibilities.
We're investigating all of them to see if any one of them is the actual explanation for I can't be an illusion and interact with other things.
Okay. I'm listening to the water explanation and I'm trying to identify with what I'm seeing right now. Okay. I'm seeing the screen, I'm seeing you, I'm seeing a water bottle, I'm seeing just a white blank thing because I'm not reading it. My focus is just in a small square, listening to your explanation. But if I were to apply seeing plus the seen equals me, that's where I'm having issues. When I'm trying to understand what you're explaining without the water bottle example. Like what I'm seeing right now, it's a square with a lady, okay,
Right.
talking, who's holding sometimes a water bottle. So,
Right.
So the seeing plus the seen, okay, equals a me.
The me of your experience right now.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. That clears it all. Thank you.
Right. Right. And you point out the point I was trying to make, which is we think there's just a generic all-purpose me here, independent of any given experience. And then an experience happens. But as that experience happens, deep down, we still hold that that experience is happening to this same me. And that experience goes away, and I'm still that same me. Intellectually, we get it. No, that experience changed me. I'm a different me. I'm experiencing something else right now. Can we ever be a me without an experience?
No.
No, we're always experiencing something. Can we ever have an experience and not be changed by that experience?
No.
No. So aren't we dependent upon the experience we're having for our identity at the moment?
Yes.
Yes. But we had just said that there's a me and there's an other in order for there to be an experience. And now we just agreed that it's the experience that defines the me and the other. See?
Yeah. Very interesting.
All in one verse.
3 words.
If we stop to think about it.
Thank
Shall
you,
we
dear.
go on? Let's see what happens.
Yes.
So he's going to dig into that. He's going to ask us to dig into that. I need to restate it for myself. I can't be an illusion, Nagarjuna, because I interact with other things. Other things help me define myself. So there have to be other things. There has to be a me. There has to be other things. Let's look at this 3 spheres: subject, object, interaction between. Let's find our belief, the mistaken belief in the subject side that can't be an illusion, Arya Nagarjuna, because I interact with other things. That's really where he wants us to go about, I can't be an illusion. And we get there by way of this triad: me, object, experience. But he makes it simpler: seeing, seeing, seen, seer, seen, seeing, because we're familiar with that. (14.2), Kongli, would you read for us, please?
Is it the same, for instance, of the desirer, desiring, and desired? The same for the rest of the afflictions, and the rest of the gateways too, for they all have this same 3 parts.
Thank you. What 3 parts? The subject side, the object side, and the interaction between. How does that actually work? How do we think it works? I'm me, you're you, we interact. So if it's pleasant, I like you. If it's unpleasant, I don't. Did it for seer, seen, seen, seeing, desirer, desiring the desired thing. Don't mess with my water bottle. Right? I don't even carry it with me because it's glass and I'm so afraid I'll break it. So I only use it in my bedroom. Like I covet this water bottle. You can't see it, but when it gets in the light, it shines like rainbows. You know, I think it's so beautiful. Not really doing it in this light. But it's like, it's so foolish, right? That I don't share my beautiful water bottle because I'm so afraid I'll lose it. I'll break it. I'll damage it. As if I'm going to keep it for myself. It's going to last longer, right? It's so stupid, but I do it. That's why I'm using it instead of my plastic water bottle, that I don't care if I break it or lose it, right? And it's still the plastic without those icky chemicals in it, they say. And I choose to believe it, whether it's true or not. Anyway, I distract myself. Then the same for all of our afflictions, all of our blaming other things, anger, jealousy, useless talk, coveting. I already said that already. Justifying lying, right? All of our pride, pride, fear, resentment, revenge, right? List them. 84,000 mental afflictions. There has to be a subject side. There has to be an object side. The mental affliction is the experience. And we react and we perpetuate the misunderstanding in the broken world from our ignorant reaction, respond. So again, we want to keep in mind that the whole point of studying all of this is so that we can stop reacting to our experiences in a way that perpetuates them in a mistaken way, in a suffering way. And instead respond in a way that burns off that suffering and plants wisdom and love. So same for the other gateways. The gateways are the gateways of our eye, like our visual experience, auditory experience, smell experience, taste experience, tactile experience, and thought experience. They all have the same 3 parts, so they can all be investigated in the same way. We could hang out in chapter 14 for a really long time. We might do that. Let's go on. Joanna, please, 14.3.
Say one thing could touch another, since it could exist as an other. In the case of the seen and the rest, we can't say they make contact.
You tell me, what's this saying? Anybody? Suppose one thing could touch another. Am I touching this water bottle? Yes, I have to be. I don't know if this really makes sense, but actually, Geshe-la's recurring explanation is once you touch something, you become it. And like, I could never quite guess, like, no, I don't. But like, if, all right, just think of it this way. Here I am, the limits of me, right? I stop here. Now, I stop here. Is there a self and other at this moment where this has become a part of me.
It has
No,
become
there's no more self and other. There's just this self. Now there's this self. Now there's this self. Once a subject and an object make contact, you can no longer say there's a subject and object. Like our minds go, no, that doesn't make sense. There's still an object. I'm holding an object. But if it could really be that me, right, can contact this thing, then that contact makes it part of my me experience. It becomes a part of me. We resist. But once the thing is no longer other, then you still can't say, right? Once the thing is no longer other, then you're not making contact anymore. Right? Do you make contact with yourself? Yeah, yes. But no, right? Once something becomes a part of you, it's part of your subject side. There's no subject object anymore. And then, so if it would be true that if I could really make contact with something, then it becomes a part of me, a part of my experience, then there's no object. And what happens to the contact that makes the experience? If the moment you make contact, you and it become one. It's like, I don't really buy that it's not an argument that makes me go, oh, I see. But when I apply it to my experience, right? Forget the object, me and the object become one. But me and the experience, right? Do we say that our experience of something is other than me? No, the experience is unique to me. It defines me in the moment. So can we really say that there's a triad of me, object, and experience? If, like, now the me experiencing this, now the me experiencing that, now the me experiencing this, the experience defines me more than my me defines me. The experiencing can't be an other. And where's the me independent of the experience going on at the moment? That me that we hold to so strongly as being the independent thing that experiences something, we can't ever find it. We can't find where it makes contact with the experience. And we can't find a me that's not that experience, and then this experience, and then the next one. It should leave us a little confused. Because the me that wants so hard, the yeah, but me, wants so hard to land somewhere. And he keeps saying, there's no that me that needs to land anywhere. But then I just felt my mind do it. Well, then there's no me at all. That's absurd. There's constant me but never the same two moments in a row. So which one am I? Yes, Roxana.
Thank you, dear Lama. I understand that at the moment that I hold this just is a part of me because I'm making it part of my experience, right?
Yeah.
But I have confusion. If I hold the baby,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
I don't have the same idea of a thing as of holding a baby.
Good point.
So
But
I have
technically, it's the same.
should I see it as a thing, as an object?
The baby is another object. It's an object that has its own consciousness, its own life. Thank you very much. And in the moment that you're holding that baby is a part of you. And
Or
the,
am I
and
part
the
of that baby?
resistance is, right, the resistance is the way we're identifying our me is no, I have to be independent of that baby. But can we, oh, I'm just trying to get the glimpse. What if we identify our me with the experiencing more than with the subject side? Me holding baby happening right now. Me holding pen happening right now. Technically, the feeling could be the same, right? Me holding baby was a feeling of love, assuming, right, you like the baby. Me holding pen could be a similar, like, amazing experience. And then, right, somebody else is holding the baby. Our identity then is me seeing them hold baby. But ordinarily, our experience is no me, baby, holding. Still three separate things happening. That's the point of this investigation is, wow, no, that's actually impossible. That experiencing identity, me holding baby me right now.
Lama. So then Nagarjuna right now is leading us to the investigation of the experience of the seer.
Right. Guess what it says? Technically, this chapter is about causation. I see it as this investigating our identity, right? The causation of our identity, not just causation of the pen or the water bottle or the baby, but the causation of our identity. And
can we say that causation and experience are kind of synonymous in this chapter?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear Lama.
Suppose one thing could touch another. Since it couldn't exist as an other, we can't say they make contact. They have to make contact to touch another. But once they're touching, they're not making contact. And we've already said that, right, you can always divide the space a little bit further so they can't make contact. But even if they could, they couldn't. Because if the moment you make contact, you're no longer making contact, how can you still be holding the pen? experience ripening holding pen happening, that makes this. And when those seeds stop ripening, this. And when they ripen again, this. And when they stop ripening, this. What's right? Ordinarily, we're thinking, oh, she's holding the pen, she took it away. She's holding the pen, she took it away. Coming in contact, we're losing contact. But if in the moment it makes contact, it's no longer self and other, there's no two things to make contact, how can I keep holding the pen? You know, we go, come on, Nagarjuna. That's all just wordplay. And he goes, right, but work with it. Because it'll show us that what we think is happening is impossible. The pen can't ever come in contact for the first time or over time. Because there's no pen that exists in the way that we think. There's no hand that exists in the way that we think for what is happening to be happening in the way that we think. Right? Thank goodness we know what I mean by the words the way that we think. What if I said that to somebody on the street? Look, you know, I'm holding a pen, but not the way we think. We'd go, what? They'd go, what? Right? So it only makes sense because you know what I'm trying to say. So even my explanation's not working in the way that we think. Poor Nagarjuna, he's so frustrated with us. I'm frustrated with myself because I can't get it right. Yeah. That's where, see where he goes. Oh no, it's break time. All right, we get a break. But that lady just stop yakking. Let's stop the share. Pause recording. So this verse 3 is saying, if it takes two things to make contact for something else to happen, to establish self and other, it can't work that way. Because, for instance, when this contacts this and this contacts that, it becomes this. And now we have just one thing. We don't have a this and a this touching. We have this. And it's the same for anything that our sense powers come into contact with. When my eye power, in the case of seeing and the rest, when my eye power contacts color and shape, if they have to touch to do that, because they are two separate things, when they touch, they become one thing. And if they are then one thing, my eyeball becomes blue. That looks black to you. My eyeball would become the color and shape, not the bottle, but the color and shape. But I don't know, I don't think my eyeball becomes color shape. It stays eyeball. Well, how does it perceive color and shape out there if it's not making contact with it? But if it has to make contact with something out there, how can it ever work? If once it makes contact, it becomes one thing with that color and shape, how does it ever change to something else? Because it would be the color and shape then making contact with a different color and shape. And it's not colors and shapes that pick up colors and shapes, it's the eye. The eye has to be separate from colors and shapes. But if it is, they can't touch. What's going on here? It can't work the way we have been taught that it works. The eye picks up colors and shapes, presents it to the mind. My eye consciousness goes, oh, water bottle. Mm. The object of the experience can't touch the experience, nor can it touch the experiencer if it's an independent thing. If it's not an independent thing, what the heck is it? We know the punchline. Projections ripening, right? Now it can be. Now it can touch. That's not obvious yet to me. Mama Christie always called them mental images. She called projections mental images. I actually like projections better, but mental images can do anything. Not by themselves, from themselves, but what do we mean by mental images is the imprint from some behavior has grown, reached a threshold, into manifestation it comes, into appearance it comes, and experiencing happens. And within that experiencing is everything that was included and grown by the imprint and the time between. So there are certain, within a human realm, there are certain apparent physical laws within which our physical appearances arise, but not because there's something specific about the physical things in our human world. It's all driven by the way that imprints were made, ripen, and come to the threshold. So technically, as we're understanding the words are the emptiness of the three spheres, anything could be anything at any moment. That can be scary and that can be liberating. So Nagarjuna is trying to help us get glimpses of that. The empty nature of my me shows me the all potential nature of my me. It's not showing the non-existence of me because there's no such thing. Why did I go there? Let's see what 14.4 says. Right, so 14.3 is saying the ramification of something touching another thing would be that the moment they touch, they become all one thing, and then they're not other anymore. And we go, so let's go on.
Lama, may I read something to you and see if I got it right?
Okay.
The empty nature of my me, it's not showing that no potential of the not me because there is no me.
Say it again, please.
Okay, the empty nature of my me, okay? is not showing the no potential of the not me because there is no me.
The no potential of the not me.
Uh-huh. Because there is no me. The empty nature of my me, okay, is not showing the no potential of the not me because there is no me.
That leaves me feeling like there's no me at all.
It's empty.
Which means there's a all potential me and nothing but. A not me yet.
It's not me yet if I don't experience the potential.
If I don't experience something. Which we can never not experience something.
But it depends on my ripening to
Right.
make it what you said.
Right. And there's
Wisdom
a me,
or
right. There's a me within every ripening.
right.
Yeah. So if you can weave that into your statement, you'll
Okay.
have both factors, right? That not me the way I think, but not me. No, not me. Not me the way I believe, but not no me at all.
Okay.
A me that's only ripening, that a me that's part of every ripening, and no me other than that
Okay.
would get the two.
Okay. Thank you.
aspects.
Chandra.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay, Conley, would you read 14.4, please?
Oh, okay, thank you. 14.4, and this not only holds true in the case of the sin and the rest by themselves, but in any case where two of them are taken both together, it would be mistaken to say that they were separate things.
Go back to 14.3. So he's saying what he said in 14.3 holds true in the case of seer, seen, seeing, hearer, hearing, hearing, blah, 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 all of them. Like we were supposed to investigate all three as independently existing things to see where they touch either one of the others, and still to see where they touch either of the others, to recognize that the moment they touch, they stop being other, and then they can't continue to touch, and so the experience can't happen. It still isn't like really clear to me. And then he says, once you've got it clear for each of the individual aspects of the three spheres, do it for any combination, right? Like those three combinations that I had on the board. Does it take the me seeing to touch the seen object? Does it take the object being seen to touch the me seeing it? Does it take the object and the subject to make the seeing happening? Where does the pair touch the third? I need to go back and look at 14.3. If the moment they touch, they become one identity, then they can't be other anymore. And so they can't be touching. And if they have to touch for the third experience to happen, And once they touch, they can't be touching. And once they're one whole new thing, they can't touch the third thing without becoming one whole third thing. How's that whole thing working? Like ignorant mind goes, that's exactly how it works. Here's me. Here's water bottle. Here's the two touching, making the third experience. But we already went through it, right? At what point does the me seeing water bottle happen? At what point does the water bottle come into being? Not till I experience it. At what point do I become experiencing the water bottle? Not until I'm experiencing it. At what point does the water bottle become seen by me? Not until I'm experiencing it. What me is there other than that? Not until I'm experiencing it. No me. No water bottle seeing me until water bottle seeing is happening. And in that moment, that there's not self other interaction between happening, there's the happening. One thing. And our mind struggles. It's like, it can't be one thing. Because then that means I'm the only thing that exists, but then I can't ever find that me anyway, and blah, 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 right? Wrong conclusion. Go back to 14.4. In any case where two of them are taken both together, it'd still be mistaken to say they're separate things. Right? Are we catching our belief in they have to be separate things in order to come together, in order to have the experience we're having? Are we catching how impossible that is? And yet, here it's happening. Like, I don't identify as being part water bottle. I identify as a me that's now experiencing water bottle. I think our Nagarjuna is saying that we would be more accurate if we identified as the experiencing happening, within which there is subject and object. All right, let's see where he goes. Mr. Kong, would you read, please, 14.5? Are you in a place where you can?
To be one thing depends on the others. How could there be an others without something else? But if it was something because of that others, you could hardly claim it was other than that.
I love this. I think Dr. Seuss was channeling Arya Nagarjuna for children's book. This just sounds, the rest of this chapter sounds so much like Dr. Seuss. If the me experiencing water bottle depends on experiencing the water bottle, how can I say that I'm dependent upon another? And we say, because there has to be a water bottle and there has to be a me, and they have to come together so that I can have the experience, me experiencing water bottle. To be me experiencing water bottle, I depend on the other. For there to be an other, there has to be and other than the other, right? There has to be a me and there has to be an other. But that means the me depends upon the other to be the me experiencing this. If the me depends upon the other to be the me experiencing the water bottle, I can't say that there's a me that exists independent of the water bottle. So I can't say there is a water bottle other than the one I'm experiencing, can I? I depend on it. It depends on me. If they depend on each other, how can you call them other? It's so hard.
What do you call them then?
Happening.
Okay. Projections ripening, happening.
Happening. Projections ripening. Are there projections ripening me other interaction between? Absolutely. Do we blame my projections for that angry yelling boss yelling at me again? Not until we're really well trained. Because we're so sure there's a me, there's a them, they're doing that to me. But when we've investigated, where's the me independent of the me being yelled at by boss right now? Where's the boss yelling at me independent of me right now? It starts to pop those bubbles that allow us to blame the boss for my unpleasant experience. All right, so you could drop the boss from the scenario and go, me experiencing this unpleasant right now. Me independent, unpleasant ripening. Something's causing the unpleasant. I've got to stop that something that's causing the unpleasant because I don't like the unpleasant. When in fact, unpleasant happening is our me at that moment. If we like it, we can perpetuate it. If we don't like it, we can burn it off and plant something new, different. But we won't respond differently if we're still believing there's the other to blame for what we're feeling, the other to blame for our experience. So it is kind of important to investigate the absurdity of this idea of other. Is he saying there's no such thing as other? No. He's saying the other that we're experiencing is established by our own experience of it as an other. Where does that experience come from? Not the other, not from me, not even from the experience of it, but it is happening, right? Thank goodness we know the punchline. Ripening of my past seed. So it is happening. Let's blame the seeds. Hopefully we get a chapter where we go investigating those mental seeds because the same problem should be there. If we believe that the seeds are some independent thing and they're running the show, we still have it wrong. Because there's no mental seeds planted, imprinted, other than by way of ripening projection. Way too soon to go there. It's a ripening projection to make an imprint in our mind that ripens as projections that make imprints in our minds. That's all imprints also. If to be one thing depends upon the other, how can there be an other without something else? But if it was something because of that other, you could hardly claim that it was other than that. If I'm not me seeing water bottle without the water bottle here, I depend upon the water bottle to be the me seeing water bottle. The water bottle to be seen by me depends upon me seeing the water bottle. The seeing the water bottle depends on me and water bottle and the seeing happening. You can't claim that there's self and other because they all depend upon each other. There's no one without the other. Until there's all three happening, there's none of them. No me at all? No, there's the me of whatever is happening now. And then whatever's happening now. And whatever's happening now. What's happening is the experience of self-other interaction between. But it can't be happening in that because there's a me and an other and an interaction between. It is happening, but it can't be happening. If something depends upon something else to be it, then you can't say it is it. Because it depended on the other. Ouch. Let's go on. I wanted to finish this chapter today. Janet, would you be Dr. Seuss for us for a moment?
If other was something other than the other, it would be other without any other. Since we can't have another without the other, it simply cannot exist.
That's what I was trying to say. Do you get it? Read it again, please. You did beautifully, by the way. The emphasis was perfect.
If other was something other than the other, it would be other without any other. Since we can't have another without the other, it simply cannot exist.
Obvious? Clear?
Yes, we're missing one of the three spheres, so that's why it can exist, right?
Yeah. Let's see what 14.7 said. Roxana, please.
Thank you, dear Lama. You don't get an other by having another. And you don't get it without another either. If you cannot have another, neither it another could ever be. Neither if nor another could ever be.
I can't imagine this in Tibetan or Sanskrit. And Geshe Michael and Lama Christie working this out. I'll bet they just laughed.
Yeah, me too, I imagine.
So, you know, when we put the quotes around other, it means our label other, which is a little different than just using the word other. She's trying to make this emphasis that, you know, how we establish this thing that we call an other. We don't actually get to it by having another. So, you know, here's one, here's another, right? Can you see? They're both pens. You probably can't see it very well. They're both pens. So does it take both of these for us to establish either one of them as a pen? No, right? Any one of them will do. But then we kind of think, right? Our ignorance believes that this thing is here, and then we call it pen. Right? When my mind goes, I need a pen, I go looking for the thing that gets the label pen and I pick it up. And I believe that it's a thing that's there that I will recognize as a pen. Right? I don't pick this thing up when I'm looking for pen. It's a spray bottle. But as I'm looking for the pen that I want to pick up, I know that my mind is saying, there's the pen. I'm not actually going, like, when's my projection going to ripen pen so that I can pick it up? Oh, did it. Right? I just go looking for the pen. And I think that the pen, quote, pen, I can find it because there's this thing there that is the pen. I think that I have an other that allows me to have this other. But when we say quote other, that means our label other. And you don't actually get the quote label by finding the thing. The label ripens. And he makes the thing. Not the other way around. And so if we're just playing with the words, the semantics, it doesn't, and other isn't what establishes a thing that is other. Right? No, this one doesn't establish this one. Our mind establishes both of them. You don't get an other by having another. But you don't get it without an other either. Right? Is this other than me? Well, I just said before, it's not once I'm holding it. But if I could show you this thing without holding it, would we say there's a pen there other than me? Right? Is this pen other than you? Right? You could say yes. Although technically your experience seeing the pen makes it not other than you. So
Sorry,
we
so it
don't have
depends on the
others.
gateway.
Pardon?
So it depends on the gateway that we're trying to identify, right, Dilema?
Right. This is the same system in every gateway. We can speak to it by way of what we're hearing. Okay. Smelling, tasting, right? All of it. We're just, in this other, we're talking about any other. And we say, oh, I know other. It's like there has to be a not other for there to be other. And then there can be not other, and there can be multiple of those others. Right? Here's me. Here's other. Here's multiple others. Do the others establish themselves as other? No. Does me establish them as others? We go, yeah, by seeing them as themselves. But we just said that seeing them as themselves can't happen until the them are there. So we can't actually say that we establish them as being there, because them being there establishes us establishing them being there. Like there can't be this other depending on another, but with no others at all, there's no other than other. Others are not dependent upon others, but without others, you don't have others. Let's see where he goes. Joanna, please, 14.8.
This and that can't ever come together. One thing could never touch another. And just as touching could never be, neither toucher nor touched could ever exist.
This and that can't ever come together. So before we were saying object and another, seer and seen, or seer is seeing, right? The this and that means the right, some combination of subject-object interaction between. Yeah, but this meaning this, and that meaning all other. You know, I mean, we could say it also means this and that, right? But more importantly is this and that. We've established that there can't be a this independent, a that independent that ever come together. For all these various reasons of all the chapters so far. One thing can never touch another. And the touching, the experiencing can't be happening. Not at all. It can't be happening by these two independent things coming together, which is what we think makes our experience happening, is the me, the this, and the that come together. They can't come together. If they can't come together, the experience of them coming together can't happen. And if touching, if seeing can never happen, then there's no seer ever, and there's no seen thing ever. Not at all. No, of course, we're seeing all the time, aren't we? But not as an independent me, seeing an independent thing, having independent experience, seeing. That's impossible. The way we think our seeing, our hearing, our tasting, touching, smelling, thinking is happening is impossible. It's not happening at all, obviously. This concludes chapter 14, an investigation of things touching. He had said in his first chapter or second chapter, second chapter. Actually, let's go back to the first chapter. We have said, I can't be deceptive. I can't be an illusion, Arya Nagarjuna, because I do think. I make contact with things in my world. And his answer is, let's look at the triad. The seen, the seeing, and the seer. Neither all three, nor any pair of them, could ever touch each other. I just said I can't be an illusion because I do things. To do things, I have to interact with other things. He says, let's see how it is that you believe your you has to be real, has to have some nature of its own so that it can contact other things that have to have some nature of their own so that the experience that I have of me and them can happen. Seer. Are you the seer before you see the thing that you're seeing? No. So you can't say that there's a you, the seer, independent of the experience that you are seeing at the moment. So does the thing that you are seeing, the object, depend upon you seeing it? We think no, but if you had never seen my special glass water bottle before, which you hadn't before today, did that thing exist for you? No. And yet the moment you saw it, suddenly that water bottle was an existing thing. And suddenly for you, I've had it before you even knew about it, which wouldn't have even occurred to you until I showed it to you. But now you know I've had it for some period of time. It's really absurd, right? The seer seeing establishes the thing seen. But wait, until I see it, I'm not seeing it. So it has to be me and it coming together to make the seeing. But wait, that's not quite right either. Yeah, we couldn't really pin down which was it of those scenarios. Something else must be going on here. Yes, Roxana.
Teacher Lama, regarding the example of the water bottle and trying to experience the water bottle through the gateways, we're using the example of just the seeing, the seer, and the seeing, but also the listening part,
Right,
right?
right.
So if I wouldn't be using the listening, the listener, the listening and the, what would that be?
The
listening,
heard thing, right? The hearing, the
the
listening,
hearing,
the hearing, right?
then I couldn't establish that it was a special water bottle, rainbow looking, all those things, right?
Right.
So that means that the three spheres are always interweaving,
Yeah.
right? What with
Yeah.
one another, so I can be making a more whole experience
Right,
of every situation.
right,
But I'm just like, we give more importance to what I'm seeing
right,
than what I'm listening.
right,
I mean, at least I just realized that. But
right.
it's both of them are as important for the experiencer.
Exactly, exactly. And for me, it includes the tactile.
Right. Right.
And for me, it includes all my history with this water bottle. Right? I know where I was when I first saw, or I know the experience of having David purchased it for me, and like I know all of that, but that's not part of your experience of the water bottle. It's all included in mine. When you think about it, as we experience something and we're making our imprint, we think, okay, the imprint is the subject, the object, what I'm doing towards the object, my yelling back at the angry ball. But in those moments of awareness, like included in every moment is your concept of yourself, the concept of time, the season, right? How you're feeling, like your whole history is in that current moment. And of course, if you have ignorance, the ignorance is included as well. So yes, we think of our seeds as, these really specific, you yell, you're going to get yelled at. But each one of those circumstances is so rich, as Roxana points out. There's a time of day, there's a weather, there's what's going on in the background. All of that is coming out of those seeds. Right? So every 65th of an instant seeds is like so full of all these background details. And then there's the primary one that we're more focused on. And for most of us, it's more visual than anything else. Of course, if we were blind, it would be a different, relative strength of the informational input or output. It helps us though to do a meditation where, like, I like to do one where I'm sitting on my cushion and I focus in on the tactile sensations that I'm getting. And I can more easily watch my mind, sensing this tactile sensation that's my like bottom on the cushion, legs and bottom on the cushion, and go and finding my mind go, that's my bottom on the cushion. But then I can say, wait, what of this sensation identifies it as bottom on the cushion? It's just a sense of pressure in a certain location in space. There's nothing about that that's, bottom on cushion without my mind putting on the label. And it's like so clear that the identity has nothing to do with the sensation. And then I can go to, my clothing on my skin, and it's like that's about as far down as I can go. It's like, well, what's the more subtle data? And it's just sensation in a location, and that's as far as I can go. But I can see my mind making the identity that becomes so real by closing my eyes. It's so hard with my eyes open because they dominate, right? My brain with its ignorant ripenings. Not the brain's not doing it, of course, but our visual things are the way they look is so strong that for me, I need to shut that one off and use either hearing or tactile, because smells and tastes are, not happening fast enough to be able to do it. So the fact that you brought that up, is this the same for hearing? Yeah. That's what Nagarjuna said. Same for desire, desiring, desired, all the different inflictions, all the gateways too. They all have these same three parts. Are they three independent things making contact? Are they any two of the three things making contact? And if they're not that, either any of those, how can they be a me and an other making contact. Because we started out saying, I can't be illusory, Nagarjuna, because I do stuff. I make contact with other things and make things happen. I experience things. So do you see why he's going this way? We're insisting that we have to have some nature of our own because we walk around in a world full of others. So I would like to propose that we each of us choose some triad within this desire. You can do like disliker, disliking, disliked. You could do pride, arrogance, over whom. You could do jealousy, you could do, right? Or you could do any of the gateways and run us through this checking. Is the subject independent of the other two? Is the object independent of the other two? Is the interaction between independent of the other two? Are the combinations happening independent of the other? What's depending upon what? To bring us the conclusion that we have that experience, but not the way we think, and help us understand why we have that experience. Anybody want to play? You don't have to take the whole class to do it. So we could have multiple people. You could use the verses to guide you through your explanation. Please, oh please.
I would like to try.
What
somebody
would you
else-
like to take?
Sorry, dear Lama.
What would you want to say what subject object interaction you want to take, or you just want to choose one and surprise us?
I see you. I need to think it
Okay.
over.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, so Roxana will do one. Anybody else want to be brave? Yay, Joanna. So you don't have to decide what you're going to do, but choose some experience. Maybe a recurring theme in life, so that we can really investigate it and see if we can come to a conclusion about how to stop perpetuating it from this. Anybody else want to do one? We've got two. I'll do one. Janet, yeah?
Well, I kind of have already been doing this with the husband in the kitchen. Poor Doug.
Yeah. Good, good.
So if I find another one, I can share with about
can do
my partner in the kitchen.
All right, good. Thanks. Joanna, when you send a recording, would you put out there to the rest of class, right, that if they want to share something in next class, to have them contact you, just so that we know, right, who's gonna, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I think it'll be helpful instead of pushing right into chapter 15. We also need to figure out what our kachik's going to be before I look ahead. I like to try to see if I can find it first and then match it to what Lama and Christy Geshe Michael point out. Okay. All right. So thank you for your willingness. Thank you for investigating others. No such thing. Oh, very fun. It's such great seeds to find the other relationship. It ties into Shanti Deva's exchanging self and other. And it ties into emanation being you. Eventually, right, it's all seeds for all those deep ahas. So remember that person we wanted to be able to help at the beginning? Our investigation will go on to help them in that deep and ultimate way someday. And that's an extraordinary goodness. So please be happy with yourself. And think of this goodness like a beautiful glowing gemstone that you can hold in your hands. Recall your own precious holy guide. See how happy they are with you. Feel your gratitude to them, your reliance upon them. Ask them to please stay close. Continue to guide you, inspire you, help you. And then offer them this gemstone of goodness. See them accept it and bless it. And they carry it with them right back into your heart. See them there, feel them there. Their love, their compassion, their wisdom. It feels so good, we want to keep it forever. And so we know to share it by the power of the goodness that we've just done. May all beings complete the collection of merit and wisdom, and thus gain the two ultimate bodies that merit and wisdom may. So use those 3 long exhales to share this goodness with that one person. To share it with everyone you love. To share it with every being you've ever seen or heard of. See them all filled with wisdom, filled with loving kindness, filled with love. And may it be so. All right. Thanks again. Have a great week. I will see you next Wednesday, if not sooner. Stop recording.
Thank you, dear Holy Lama.
You're welcome.